Telecom sector today is in a bit of a cusp. There are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of challenges. The opportunities exist in the rollout of networks, in the opportunities to provide better services to customers, to expand the networks. And this will happen on the back of two or three major activities. One major activity that I can think of is a reduction in the price point of 3G devices, because that will move customers from an existing 2G environment onto a 3G environment. And the 3G experience is more around the screen size. So the screen size is becoming a very important factor in the overall pricing point. So whereas you might say that there are 3G devices which are available at a price point of 5,000 and 6,000 rupees, the screen size does not give the user, the end user, a full visual experience, and therefore he's looking for a slightly larger screen size. So the optimal screen size, which seems to be the size of choice, is more in the region of about a 4 or a 4.5 inch screen, where then the price point is still a little on the high side. Because that's on the high side, that particular penetration is still taking time. We are seeing good things happen, and we hope that over a period of the next couple of months there will be even more devices which will come in at a lower price point. And we hope that our customers are going to be able to accept those devices and enter the 3G space. So that's a positive. The challenges are that as these 3G networks have to continue to expand, the 5 megahertz which has been provided in the 21 megahertz band is proving to be insufficient, because there has been a tremendously high growth in the urban areas, and in the non-urban areas the growth has been lower. Now, in the urban areas where the growth of 3G services has been much higher than normal, that 5 megahertz is proving to be insufficient now. In the non-urban areas, because the networks are still expanding, the 5 megahertz may work for a while. But as the number of subscribers who enroll in 3G services increases, even that will prove to be insufficient. So the hope was that we would get a larger quantum of 2100 megahertz at the right price to be able to provide 3G services to the growing customer base. But we are waiting to see what is going to happen from the policymakers' end.
Now, just briefly tell us about the ongoing digital India and Make in India emphasis that is being pushed by the government. So, I'm sure you will have your understanding of this. Briefly tell us about some of the opportunities that could spring up because of these initiatives.
You know, there'll be probably 3 or 4 different levels of potential opportunity for made in India kind of environments. Number one is, the most important is going to be applications. Now, applications is a software area, so nobody really thinks of that as a made in India, because you're looking at products rather than services, which is the application side. But the application part of the business, which is going to be India-centric, is going to be a huge wave swell almost of bringing customers who will be able to use those applications. Presently, most of the applications are in the communication area in the form of a chat form or textual or seeking information. But as the applications get more and more complex, particularly in the area of e-governance, and there are more applications which the government puts out as well, then those applications will result in usage increasing considerably.
And now if you can just briefly talk a little bit about some of the innovations that Idea is bringing to the market.
But we're constantly developing new ideas and services in order to try and provide some kind of an incentive to our customers to move to 3G. So one of the services is, for example, live TV on your device. Now, we've had this now for the last 3 or 4 years. And live TV is essentially all the existing channels which are buffered for a period of about 4 or 5 minutes and then are provided to you in a mobile environment. Now, the nature of the Indian 3G environment is such that with about 200 million 3G users, the usage is more when you are in motion, out on the streets, walking around. So you don't have access to a TV station beaming directly. So even if the information comes to you at a 3 or 4 or 5 minute delay, it's still very current for you. And therefore it is interesting, it is something which grabs eyeballs. But if I were to take a step back, all these things are happening on the back of three fundamental things, and I've always believed this, and this is what is driving technology. It is miniaturization, digitization, and compression. And if you look at this, technology is being driven more and more by greater miniaturization, greater digitization, and finally the compression capabilities. And that is what is allowing more and more content to come on a smaller and smaller bandwidth down to the end user for his eventual satisfying experience. So IDEA is constantly working with application developers to either introduce new products and services or to develop new products and services for the benefit of the customers right across the country. IDEA has a very, very large network which is in the rural areas. In fact, as a percentage of our entire base, in comparison to the other large operators, of which IDEA is one of the top three, we have the largest percentage of customers who are in the rural areas. So our focus is very, very clearly on making their lives different.